Hey guys, and welcome to episode 15 of Break Time. I'm Alex.
I am Eman.
And on today's episode of Break Time, Alamo City Comic Con just happened, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit. We're also going to be talking about the new Wonder Woman movie. We did want to discuss the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 box office, as well as want to go over some weird hobbies that maybe we have, maybe that we know other people have, and yeah, that's going to be our show. So, kind of as you can tell right off the bat, we are going to start doing the opening a little differently as far as just kind of how we're structuring it, because we want to kind of read off the kind of topics that we want to hit, kind of so we keep on track with conversation, and so, you know, you guys listening also know what we're going to be talking about. So, yeah, and Eman is chomping away on a nice-ass apple.
I hope you can't hear this shit. I started as he was recording, so I said, fuck it, I'm just doing this, so.
And if my voice sounded kind of weird, it's because there's a B12 in my mouth that's still dissolving.
You're welcome.
Pretty sure it's LSD. Anyway. But, yeah, before we jump into our topics, we can go ahead and start everything off like we do every week, Eman. Because we haven't seen each other in a while. We missed
been like 3 weeks.
Missed 2 episodes of Break Time.
Yeah.
So, Eman, how have you been?
I've been good, man, these past 3 weeks. It's been very eventful. I'm coming off of a nasal infection.
Oh.
I've been feeling like shit for the past 2 days. I couldn't train, which sucked. Speaking of training, our hobbies, which we're going to eventually get to. I got a new hobby, man. Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Say some bullshit-ass joke.
No. I know what jiu-jitsu is.
What's jiu-jitsu?
It's where it's a form of martial arts.
Obviously.
Where you get into combat with someone, and jiu-jitsu is the act of throwing pennies on the floor to distract them, and then fighting them. Because they'll be so distracted with picking up the pennies, like, because they're Jews.
Yeah.
Obviously, jiu-jitsu can only be used on Jews.
Yeah. Yes.
And, yeah.
No, it's actually...
Oh, damn it.
Dude, it's so hard. It's going to be so hard to do this damn podcast because I'm telling a story, but my nose... Do you hear it? It's like getting really stopped up.
Oh, also, we're recording a little bit, too.
Holy shit. Forgot about that. Yeah.
We got to look at the camera.
Oh, do we? No, we don't. The camera's there.
I'm going to stare at the camera the entire time.
That's hard. I need your eye contact.
I just realized that I might have picked my nose like 4 times.
How incredible is this, though, man? You can't... Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks because we actually have to be... We have to have our clothes on for this podcast because we're being filmed now, so...
I don't have to have my clothes.
Hey, come on. But no, I got into jiu-jitsu, man. It's jiu-jitsu is pretty much the martial art of submission holds and grappling. It's all groundwork. That's your
groundwork because you throw the pennies on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get into combat.
No, so yeah, it's all groundwork. It's the form of pretty much beating your opponent to get certain grapples before he gets yours, and it's very technical. It's I'd say 60% mental, 40% physical.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, size does not matter. You could be the biggest guy in the room and be going up against the smallest guy in the room. If the smallest guy has more technique, you're getting your shit fucked up.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you're learning jiu-jitsu. So what else has been going on besides that and your nasal infection?
It's just I think I got the nasal infection. Oh, besides that.
Yeah. That's besides that, yeah.
Just work. I met a girl, 2 days ago?
All right. When are y'all getting married?
I'm trying to plan something out for next week, but I'm not sure.
Next week? Just heads up, next week, like Thursday, Friday, not good for me.
Really?
Yeah. Wednesday, if you want to get married Wednesday, do it, like, you know, between lunch and dinner, and I should be good.
Okay.
Not getting you a wedding gift, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not doing that. Not after your baby shower, the 4 of them. But, anyway, so how's it going with this girl?
I mean, it's not. I just met her.
Oh, okay.
She's going to Louisiana soon, so we're like going to go on a date or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's been cool. What else has been going on? See, this is why I hate
when I ask you
so long to do the podcast.
Yeah.
Because so much shit happens. And as it's happening, I'm like, man, this is going to be great to discuss on the podcast. But then, boom, it comes, and I guess I just crack. I just forget everything that's happened.
That or you don't know what's notable enough.
Exactly.
Like to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been that, man. That and work. That work, but yeah, but I'm really.
I swallowed that B12 pill. It's taking way too long.
It takes a while to fucking dissolve.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna sit there with it in my mouth forever.
I gotta blow my nose, dude.
I guess blow your nose then. So Eman, I guess
Right back.
while you're doing that, I'll catch up the audience on what I've been doing. Been working, hanging out with the girlfriend, doing stuff with Champions San Antonio. Our local nonprofit. You can find us on Facebook and our website, thechampionsofsa.com. Wink. And also Comic-Con just passed. Alamo City Comic-Con here in San Antonio. And that's actually going to be the topic we're going to get into here in just a moment. And now I just buy time until Eman returns back from the restroom. He's coming back right now. But yeah. So you good, Eman? No? Okay. Yeah. That's good. So I guess we'll just go ahead and hop into our first topic here, which is Alamo City Comic-Con. Like I said, Alamo City Comic-Con just happened this past Memorial Day weekend, and it was great. I went. I know, Eman, you didn't go.
No.
To Comic-Con.
What if I did, just didn't tell you?
Yeah, like you were just there the whole time. I would have been pissed. I would have been like, God damn it, Eman. So, but yeah, so I went, and if you don't know what Comic-Con is or what just a comic convention is in general, it's just essentially you go, you check out some artists that you like from comics, you meet some celebrities, you go in cosplay, meet up with your friends. It's kind of just a big old hub for things like nerdy. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't noticed already from the topics we read off earlier, today's going to be a very, I guess, pop culture / nerd centric episode. Alamo City Comic-Con. Like I said, I went this year. Eman hasn't gone, but Eman, you've gone in the past years.
A few times, yeah.
Yeah, and what do you think of Comic-Con when you normally go?
I like it. I mean, honestly, the nerd shit isn't really my swing. You know what I mean? But just the environment, man, it's a lot of fun. A huge thing that I like about people, a certain select few of people, really my friends in particular, I like people who aren't afraid to be themselves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's all I see in Comic-Con. You know what I mean? People at Comic-Con are really in their true form. They're really expressive. They don't give a shit about what they're wearing. Yeah. How they're presenting themselves to a bunch of people. Yeah. And it's just the sort of the social misfits that all come together. You know what I mean? And I'm really drawn to that shit, man. I like it a lot. Yeah, like you said, it's for me the biggest appeal of Comic-Con. Like, you know, because for me personally, like, you know, I can go to Comic-Con sometimes. I'll see some celebrities and I'll buy stuff there and, you know, the regular Comic-Con stuff. But then for me, especially now that I'm more in the community of cosplayers and I was there with my organizations, we're fundraising, meeting a lot of people. To me, the coolest part is seeing all these people, like you said, who don't care about the outside people, like what they think. Mm-hmm. They're like, I'm at Comic-Con, I'm with like-minded folks, I'm going to enjoy it. I love it because I'm working at BJ's and I come from the kitchen and the coworkers are freaking out. They're like, what the fuck? So I look and they're talking about a particular guest. And so I look at where the guest is sitting and it's literally a Wolverine sitting there in a fucking, what's the Mystique?
Mystique, yeah.
Yeah, they're just sitting at the table.
Like, just people in costume.
In costume, yeah, in costume. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was this past weekend?
This past weekend.
Wow, over here on our side of town?
Yeah, our side of town.
That's crazy. What kind of Wolverines you dressed as? Like muscle shirt and shit?
Yeah, muscle shirt.
That's
beard.
Hilarious.
It was... Wow. But I can't even talk because not too long ago we were doing the same shit downtown at Whataburger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll
see all kinds of looks.
Yeah, see, I was about to say that. Like, we on the Saturday of Comic-Con, I got invited by a buddy of mine. His name's Chris. He's with the 501st here in town, and the 501st is it's essentially a costuming group where they dress up as Darth Vader, stormtroopers, and all that stuff from Star Wars, and do community events and charity stuff. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so my buddy Chris from the 501st. He came up to some guys from our group, and he was like, hey, Chili's is doing this thing where they're kind of wrapping in Comic-Con with the restaurant tonight, you know, because Comic-Con's the buzz right now, the one downtown. And they're like, so they want to see if we get a few cosplayers over to Chili's. You'll get some free gift cards, just, you know, 45 minutes, an hour, just take pictures of people.
Okay.
And nice. I was like, I'm down. But the convention center is like, you know, maybe like a block or two away from the thing.
Yeah.
And it would be more expensive and more time consuming to go to the car, move the car, go park somewhere else downtown, and then go. So we just walked there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a block away.
Yeah, we just walked there in costume, but we had to like walk through traffic at like 7 a.m. or 7 p.m.
Yeah.
8 p.m. and just the looks. It was funny because
That's
it
the
wasn't
best part.
just us. Like I think so too. Like Comic-Con lets out, and like you see a bunch of nerds walking out, and we're just part of that group of people, and everyone's in their car like, what the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
But it was super fun.
If you've achieved nothing in your life, but you've always wanted that status of celebrity where everyone looks at you, everyone wants pictures.
Oh yeah.
Go to Party City, buy a Spider-Man costume, and just walk down the street of downtown San Antonio.
Yeah. Did it stop? When did it stop?
Oh, it did stop.
I can't tell when it stopped.
Not sure. That was a long run.
Yeah. But yeah, like Eman was saying, like it's kind of like briefly being a celebrity. Because like Eman said, people want to stop you, people want to take pictures with you. People are interested in your costume and stuff, especially when you look really good. Yeah, and for me, like, it's Comic-Con's cool and all, especially when you're walking around downtown in your costume, because at Comic-Con it's expected. You're going to see people in costume. The moment you're out of that convention center and you're walking around dressed as Spider-Man or Wolverine or Batman, whatever, everyone's like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" And that's really interesting. That's really like neat to see.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, damn it. What was I say? What was I gonna say? No, but so when I do it with my organization and like we go to other places, like not near Comic-Con,
Yeah.
and we're dressing up, it's funny sometimes when we go places after and people are just like, "What the fuck?" Like they're like completely
funny as shit.
weirded out. But yeah, where's Instagram?
Why are you getting on Instagram, man?
Well, I'm trying to download Instagram onto this because I was actually gonna see if I could find the Wolverine in the Storm you were talking about, like to see if maybe you'd remember them.
Wow, you're gonna scroll through your whole Instagram.
No, not through my
of
whole.
the hundreds of Wolverines.
Well, I was gonna look at the Alamo City Comic-Con hashtag, and I probably would have found them. But like,
fuck no, that's a lot of Wolverines, man.
Instagram's not. There actually wasn't a lot of Wolverines.
Really?
I was probably the best one. Just
It's gonna be a lot of hashtags.
yeah. God damn it. Where's Instagram's not even on here? Can you not get Instagram on your iPad?
Guess not, man.
Wow, that's bunk.
iPad don't want that dingy ass app.
So Eman,
What's up, dude?
your experience with Comic-Con, what was it like when you were going?
Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures, taking some, having some taken of me.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Not really giving a fuck about celebrities because
I mean,
they kind of put together bottom of the barrel celebrities. Like,
well, I think the years you were going,
yeah, when I was going, at least
they've gotten a lot better. Like really, like I think everything has to start somewhere, and the convention has progressively got like better and better celebrities. And
yeah,
like this year they had Dave Bautista from Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, he's a wrestler too, or former wrestler, right? He doesn't wrestle
I
anymore.
don't fucking know that guy.
Actor,
performer, entertainer.
Yeah,
He's an entertainer these days.
But yeah, who else they had there? They had Rey Mysterio there, another wrestler I just thought of. But they had some they had some pretty good celebrities. But
I know we kind of talked about this in the past, but did you watch wrestling coming up?
A little bit with my
like
cousin.
Very casually.
Yeah, like with my cousin, like because he would watch it, so
Yeah.
I would like live the wrestling fandom vicariously through him.
Okay.
So I was probably watching it around the time of John Cena, Rey Mysterio thing, guys like The Miz.
Old school, man, huh?
Yeah.
Early 2000s?
Yeah,
Very
early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay,
kinda
you
when I
got
was-
kind of the end of the golden era.
Yeah, that's
cool.
That's when I was watching. It was when John Cena wasn't hated yet.
Yeah.
Apparently now everyone hates John Cena.
Yeah.
Because he just wins everything now.
All the grown men hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. All the grown men hate John
That's
Cena.
definitely a grown man
issue.
entertainment business now.
That's hilarious.
It's not even kids anymore.
But
What's up?
damn it, I was gonna say something about Comic-Con, and I totally forgot what it was. Why did I just close the internet? Sorry, I was starting to look at the thing for our next for the next topic, and I was trying to make sure that it was up. But We went to Comic-Con maybe the third year of Comic-Con. This is like 2-3 years ago. But did I ever tell you the story about Spencer at Comic-Con?
No.
So Spencer went to Comic-Con, and I didn't go with him. I ran into him there. At the time he was there with Celeste, and she was Poison Ivy, and he was dressed up as Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I've seen. I saw them. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the year that I just ran into you there. You were like Tyrese from The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were
the only black character, my scrawny ass. Playing a big ass black guy.
You just had the shirt, the beanie, a backpack, and a little gun.
Yeah. It was Tyrese. It was just on a skeleton.
Tyrese. Yeah.
Like, 'cause he's a big ass like ex-lineman football player.
I don't think you were
I would have been
small.
better. Dude, I was like
Didn't
sophomore
you like actually
year.
like do the thing to kind of have
I
the
did.
like,
I put the
like,
little, of course.
Yeah, like the
Comic-Con.
the shadow.
I recall it being the day of. I fucking woke up and my mom was like, comes into my room. Hey, you want to go to Comic-Con? What? Yeah, let's go to Comic-Con. She just buys the ticket.
Wow.
I guess we're just balling out of control then. 'Cause that shit will not fly these days.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I threw that shit together.
Yeah, but we were there at Comic-Con, and I was talking with Spencer, walking around with Spencer for a little bit. And I remember there was like a thing where like we had to run. It was for Spencer. It was his first Comic-Con ever.
Yeah.
And I remember him being frustrated because there were just so many people everywhere. Everything was a line. He was like getting annoyed with everything. And then there was certain vendors we were going to that he needed cash for because not all the vendors took card. So we had to go find an ATM. So we went to go find an ATM. Found an ATM, it wasn't working. Went to go find another ATM, found an ATM, wasn't working. We had to go to the ATM outside of the convention center.
Yeah.
Then we got outside of there, but there was a line to get back in.
Yeah.
So then he was upset about that. But then there was also a line of people at the ATM.
Everything was literally a line.
Yeah, and he was getting so frustrated with everything.
Yeah.
So we stood in the line with him. He finally got his money out of the ATM. We go back inside after standing in the line. We get back in. He decides that he wants to... You know who Sean Astin is?
I've heard the name.
Yeah, he played the main boy in The Goonies.
Okay.
And then he was huge in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
So he's all excited. He wants to go meet Sean Astin. Because it's the only celebrity there that he cares about. So he goes, stands in line to meet Sean Astin. And he stands in line. I can't remember. Maybe it was like an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. I just remember to him it was a ridiculous long time. Okay. So he finally waits in line. He goes to see Sean Astin. He walks up to Sean Astin. He pays his like $40-$50.
Hold on, is that his most notable role, playing the boy from the Goonies?
No, it's probably Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay, you did say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least in recent memory. I'm sure other people know him from other things, but I'm not that huge of a fan. But he's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he waits in line for like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. Another line. He's completely like upset. He gets his autograph. He's happy for like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
So he gets his autograph. He meets Sean Astin. He like shakes his hand and everything. Tells him, "Oh, I love you from this movie" or whatever. Then he walks away. As soon as he gets past Sean Astin's table, so essentially, Spencer needed money to see Sean Astin and go to other vendors. So we went on a wild goose chase for an ATM. He got an ATM, didn't work. Got another ATM, didn't work. Went to the ATM outside. Had to wait in a line to get to the ATM. Finally got to the ATM. Had to wait in a line to get back. Finally got inside. Had to wait into a line to go get Sean Astin's autograph. Got Sean Astin's autograph after an hour of waiting. Then as he walks away from the table, one of the guys that like is one, I guess the managers or one of the people there with Sean Astin, is holding up Sean Astin autographs and goes, "Hey guys, we got extra autographs. Anybody want them?" Spencer
do that shit.
Yeah, Spencer grabbed another one from that guy, and then other people were just grabbing him. Spencer walks up, and he was pissed. He was so mad. He's like, "I went through all that shit for that."
I love how he still grabs another one.
Yeah,
angrily grabs another one. Jesus Christ.
Well, because you weren't gonna just not grab another one.
I know, but still.
But it was funny. Like he goes through all of that, literally.
They do that shit.
Yeah,
man.
for that one thing, and then like he just got it. Like all those other people were just walking by, going along with their days. Spencer had to do all the work, and they all got the same reward as he had to do.
Dude, I can recall actually that they do that shit because I mean, obviously they're not being taxed or regulated by some official or anything, so they can just play with their prices as fit.
Yeah.
So for example, the artist, as you know, they take pride in their shit because it's really good stuff, but they charge buku crazy amounts of money for like a canvas, a little canvas. It'd be like
Yeah.
$80, right?
Yeah, some of them are worth it, and you can see.
A lot of them are worth it.
There are other artists, like there's an artist who's like, oh, this is a canvas, and there's gold splash brush paint that I put onto it.
Yeah.
And it's a $500 piece, and it's huge though. So
Yeah.
you're like, I can see that. For an art person, I can see that.
Yeah.
But then you got a little dude who has like a thing on cardstock and it's printed, and he goes, this is one of a kind, and I made copies of it. That's going to be $50. And you're like, fuck you.
Exactly.
No, it's not.
There was a piece. The piece is hanging up right here. The Incredible Hulk. That was selling for, originally it was like $20, right? And so at the time, I didn't want to fucking spend $20 on something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I originally talked to the guy, it was about a few hours into the Comic-Con, the convention, kind of towards the end. He dropped me the price. I think it was 20. It may have been more, but either way it goes, I just didn't want to spend the money at the time. And so I walked away, and probably about another hour or two goes by, and the convention is now wrapping up. And I'm walking past the guy's booth again, and I decide to say, fuck it, I'm gonna stop here. And so I stop there, and he's like, I guess he didn't recognize me, but he's like, hey man, I was looking at the same piece. And he's like, hey man, you like the piece? I'll give it to you $5. I was like, are you fucking serious? Which is why I have it right here. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's hilarious. So
that's how they do that shit,
yeah,
man.
it's crazy because like I get it. Some of them have like, oh, let me make one last sale before I leave.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous when they're like during the con, they're like, I don't want to call it a scam, but they're like, oh man, this piece is this amount of money, and then all of a sudden, like I get it, like oh hey, this piece is $30. Hey man, last day of the con, you know what? I'll give it to you for $20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then like you have instances like that where it's like, hey man, this piece is like it's supposed to be $30. I'll give it to you for $5. But the same thing happened to me at a convention. I went to Texas Comic-Con.
Okay.
And I was there with Willie, and I used to cosplay Captain America a lot. And they had this badass Captain America shield.
Yeah.
It was made out of, the guy was telling me it was like airplane aluminum. You could like punch it and like smack it, and it was fine. And it was also like the bracket. It wasn't like the straps. It was like this weird thing that you put your arm through and it held there, but it looked amazing. It looked so freaking cool. And it looked metal. It was hard, but it was light as hell. And I was like, wow, that's, and he was like, oh, it's light because it's made out of airplane metal or whatever. And I was like, this is so freaking cool. I asked him, I was like, so how much is it? And he goes, $500. And I was like,
to the day.
Yeah, I was like, okay, man, I get that. I'm like, it's worth that. And because the shield I bought that was really good was like supposed to be $300. I got down to like $250. So I was like, okay, I get that for what it is.
Yeah.
I just can't. I'm not gonna buy it. I was like, thanks, man, for letting me look at it. He's like, yeah, no, definitely. So then Willie, my little brother, it's not the end of the convention. It's not the end of the day. It's literally like 20 minutes after I asked the guy.
Yeah.
Willie goes, looks at the same thing, looks at the shield, asks the guy how much it was. The guy goes, $300. And I was yeah. And I was like, are you shitting me?
You just look like money, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess like because I was interested in it, I was asking all these questions. He thought I was that interested, like I was gonna drop that much for it. And I was
fucking
like,
scoundrels out here, man.
Yeah, and then no shit. I forgot who else asked him. I think it was like Herbie asked him, and the guy goes, "Oh, $250." Like
what's
he
going
just
on?
dropped it that price. And I was like, dude, he's probably trying to make $150 out of it, and he's just trying to scalp everyone.
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
I was like, man,
we need your dad's negotiation skills, man.
Yeah, man. It was so ridiculous. I was like, come on, man. But you know that's Comic-Con. The biggest, you go to Comic-Con, and Comic-Con is like it's there's how do you say it? There's two sides to every coin.
Yeah.
The head side of Comic-Con is, man, I'm going there with like-minded people. I get to show off my cosplay. I get to talk to people who like the same movies and comics and books and properties and all that I do. They watch the same shows, the same everything. I can, maybe not everyone, but like if I'm into Attack on Titan, I can go there. I can meet 20 people who are into Attack on Titan. Yeah. If I am super into learning the meticulous details of Captain America's suits from movie to movie, I can find 20 other people there who are doing the same thing. Exactly. And like meet like-minded people. It's interesting. No matter who you are, if you have no friends regularly, you're gonna make friends at Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. There's so many different and interesting people there. So that's the head side. Like, you meet like-minded people, you go to the convention, you meet the celebrities you love on TV, you do that. It costs some money, but, you make memories, right? Yeah. And then you have the other side, the tail side of Comic-Con, which is, oh, your camera just clicked off. Yeah. Anyway, you have the tail side of Comic-Con that's like, like, how do you put it? Like, you have the tail side of Comic-Con that is essentially like door-to-door salesman type of stuff, where like you have 20 guys all selling the same Batman Lego from China, with 20 different prices, 20 different deals, and they're all like, oh, well, theirs is this, or mine is this, hey, I'll make you a deal. Like, and realistically, you know, like, if you do your research, you find out these Legos are like, if you buy them online, order them, wait 6 weeks, it's like $1.60 a Lego.
Yeah.
And then these guys are like, oh, it's $8 a Lego, or 10 for 2 Legos, and you're like, oh, what a steal if one's $8. It's not a steal. Like, but I get it. They have to make their money. What you're paying for is the convenience factor and the fact that you're getting it at Comic-Con, I guess.
Yeah, but and I'm not gonna pay $9 for convenience.
Like, that's the point. Like, that, you know, you go to Comic-Con and you're there, you meet your friends, and then on the flip side, you're there. And if you want some cool Comic-Con shit, you're going to pay for cool Comic-Con shit. But to be fair, the stuff that you buy at Comic-Con, like, I've never bought anything at Comic-Con that I walk up to and I'm like, I can buy that anywhere. You know, most things at Comic-Con are the price that they are because you cannot go buy them at a store. Yeah. You know, it's the convenience and the fact that you're not going to find it anywhere. Like, maybe you can find it like on a Chinese website, like if you go dig hard enough, but it's hard to find those things. Like, I didn't really spend a lot of money at Comic-Con as far as buying things. I really just bought food and parking. The one thing I did buy, I bought for Serena, and it was a Wonder Woman tiara from the new movie, and it was metal. And it was like $40, and I was like, that's worth $40 to me because I can't find it anywhere. It's metal. Serena really likes Wonder Woman. That's the thing I'm gonna buy. Yeah. You know, and then there's somebody down the row selling the same thing. It's like, oh, it's $80 or it's $100. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of those things where it's how do you put it when you're a salesperson? Whatever the market yields, or whatever the market is willing to pay. That's what you're gonna pay, because if someone's gonna buy a Captain America shield for $500, people are gonna keep selling them for $500. Exactly. So, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, speaking of conventions, I now understand that whole world. I mean, for the longest time, for years, I haven't really been into comics like you are, obviously, or superheroes or anything like that, obviously. But it was your thing, and the way you talked it up, you made it sound really interesting. So I dabbled in the world of that, and I met some cool people, had good times, but it wasn't really my thing. You know, my thing was always sports. I've liked combat sports in particular, like boxing. I'm doing jiu-jitsu now, but there's never a convention for like the UFC or anything until I realized they have UFC events. You can go watch the fight. Yeah. You're going to be around other people who are into that shit. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, you know, I went to Dallas like 2 weeks ago, and it was fucking amazing. Because, I mean, the UFC in particular, that's the event that I went to. It's, the UFC is the sport of MMA. It's like the NFL of MMA. MMA stands for Mixed Martial Arts. Yeah. And martial arts is the art of fighting. And so, obviously, martial arts is a global practice. Like, in the United Kingdom and America, we have boxing. In Brazil, they have, in South America, they have jiu-jitsu. Asia, they have karate, and so on and so forth. And so, when you mix the martial arts and bring it into one thing, you're going to attract other people who follow those practices. And that's going to be from all over the globe. And so, I was sitting next to... So it was the most fucking diverse crowd I've ever sat in, bro.
See, that's the cool part, like, about Comic-Con, because like, you know, there's sports events, and you can all go watch a football game, you can all go watch a basketball game, and then like people who maybe enjoy UFC and martial arts and stuff, they're like, there's nothing for me, but there is, and people who are like, oh, I enjoy watching Avatar: The Last Airbender in my basement. There's nothing for me. Yes, there is.
Go look for it.
So, but keep going. What are you saying?
No, but it's funny because in my row alone, in my little ass section I was sitting in, very good seats by the way. But in my little ass section I was sitting in, it was me and my friend Isaac. To the right of Isaac, you have a this redneck cowboy family, coolest people, coolest shit. Then you have me and Isaac. Then directly to the left of me, you have this couple from Brazil, straight from Brazil. I was talking to the lady. She has this sexy ass Brazilian accent. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, And then immediately to the left of her, you have this group of guys from fucking the United Kingdom. Heavy ass accent. They're all drinking and shit. It was the most authentic thing. And we're all cheering together, yelling together and shit. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody has like you could kind of tell that everybody has some sort of background and training, so we can all level with each other on that playing field. But then to take it even further, I just started jujitsu at it's a place called Dominion MMA. It's a little down 1604, but really top-notch place to practice martial arts at. And so I'm doing jiu-jitsu there.
Not sponsored.
Right, not sponsored by Comic-Con or Dominion. But so I'm doing jiu-jitsu there, and I'm rolling with this guy who went to O'Connor. He used to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
He didn't go to O'Connor. He went to somewhere. He's from the Midwest. He used to be a wrestler, so he was really good on the ground. And so we're rolling, and then I see this short Mexican guy walk in, right? And we start rolling. Well, we don't start rolling. He comes up to us and he's trying to talk to us, but the thing is, he's fresh out of Mexico. Does not speak a lick of English, right?
Oh shit. Okay.
And so it's my first. This is my first day in jiu-jitsu, and so jiu-jitsu is probably the hardest martial art to learn because it's purely technical and it's hard to teach. Fuck being hard to learn. It's hard to teach as a matter of fact. And so this guy, he's fresh from Mexico, can't speak a lick of English, but he's teaching me jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
How the hell does that happen?
Exactly.
How does that work?
I don't fucking know, but I was clicking, and it was even clicking more than it was with the actual instructor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this dude's fresh from Mexico, can't speak a word of English. He's using hand gestures and nodding his head certain ways, and he's teaching me fucking jiu-jitsu.
And you got it?
And I was getting it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really cool. His name was Carlos. I got a picture of him actually. But yeah, man, I don't know. It really opened my eyes just to culture and people in general and just getting out and doing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got choked out by a 5'2" guy from Mexico. Couldn't speak the language, and you know what I mean. Like, what the fuck is living? Like that? That's living. That is living. You know what I mean?
See, and like I know it's different, but like it really. So first off, kind of to go in the vein of like what you're saying as far as like their people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tiny dude. Who's
that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, damn.
Doing it for years.
No, so like, kind of in the vein of that, as far as people everywhere being into what you're into, this guy who's a friend of my buddy David, he came down from Idaho to come to Alamo City Comic Con.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was interesting because there are a lot of people who came from out of state to go to Alamo City Comic Con because it's a bigger con and people flock to those. But then, like what you're saying, this guy spoke Spanish. You know, your jiu-jitsu instructor spoke Spanish only, but y'all were still able to communicate. Yeah. And have like this experience with each other.
Exactly.
So my organization, the Champion San Antonio, soft plug. We brought last year. We brought a group of kiddos from the Salvation Army to Comic-Con. We brought 20 of them, and then this year at Comic-Con, we brought a group of 20 kids and 5 adults from the St. PJ's Children's Shelter. Yeah. And we planned out the event and everything. The kids were going to have lunch. We had to check with the cafeteria to store the lunch because we can't have lunch in the convention center. We wrote up an itinerary of all the things they were going to go do, where they were going to go, the artists they were going to go meet, the stuff they were getting that artists donated for the kids. The times they were going to go take pictures here and there, like everything was planned out. We're like, oh, we'll go here, we'll talk to the kids about this, we'll show them the Star Wars Society, the Sabers Guild's going to show them how to use lightsabers. We're going to go stop by Miss Vella's booth and she'll talk about her brother Jonathan, who was the Aquaman of San Antonio, big cosplay charity guy. He passed away. You know, we planned it all. The kids get there, they pull up. We're outside. I'm out there with 3 other of our members. We're going to be escorting them around the convention. Yeah. And then the contact for St. PJ's, her name's Miss Stephanie. Miss Stephanie comes up to me, and she goes, oh, we're looking for the Champion San Antonio. I'm like, oh, I'm Alex. I'm the president of the Champion San Antonio, and we're meeting you to take you into Comic-Con. They're like, okay, awesome. And they have their lunch and stuff. So we start loading that. We have a wagon for it and stuff. And then I say hi to one of the kids, and I try to talk to him. And he just kind of looks at me like he has no idea what I'm saying. And then Miss Stephanie goes, oh, I'm sorry, he only speaks Spanish. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I was like, are there any other kids who only speak Spanish? And she goes, yes, all of them. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what? And she goes, yes, all 20 of the kids we brought today only speak Spanish.
Brought you no kind of backup, no translator, no nothing.
Well, luckily, because I didn't plan for it, I didn't know. I guess maybe somewhere that was a detail.
How old were these kids?
They were between like 10. No, they were between like 9 and like 17.
Okay.
Most of them were younger. They were like maybe like 4 or 5 of the older kids.
Yeah.
But maybe like 2 that were actually like 17 on the older end.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them were the younger kids. But even the kids that were like, between 14, 16, they enjoyed it. But so I found that out, and I guess that was a detail that got left out, or that was oversight, or that was some way told to Vanessa, our events coordinator, and maybe she forgot, or maybe the other coordinator with the other group maybe just assumed that we knew, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it was me. Daphne, my buddy David, who was dressed as Batman, and Herbie. Mm-hmm. Herbie speaks Spanish.
Okay.
And David is from Guatemala. He speaks Spanish. But luckily, like, I had them there, because if I wouldn't have, I would have been screwed.
Woo.
But luckily, all the 5 adults with them were their chaperones, and they all spoke English and Spanish, so they helped out a lot with that. But like totally like put a wrench in everything, because my big thing was like, oh, we gotta take up time here and here. We'll just talk to the kids. We'll interact with the kids. We couldn't.
Nothing.
Like I was like some of us could, but I was like, I can't. And I was like, God, there's gonna be a huge drawback. So I was like, oh, this is a bust. This is gonna be terrible. None of them speak English. I don't know how I'm supposed to interact with them and talk with them and stuff. Like this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
I was like, we're just gonna kind of walk them through the steps. They're not gonna be able to talk to anyone, and it's gonna suck. I was mad because we had presentations lined up for Miss Vela, who's going to talk about her brother, and then the Sabres Guild was going to put on a show for them like they did with kids last year, and that consists of them doing like this little kind of play where they go like, oh, this is the Jedi, oh, his dad died, this is him growing up, this is you with him learning how to be a Jedi, and now it's like a whole show,
right?
And then you become involved in it towards the end, and I was like, God, this is gonna be terrible. So we get in, David and Herbie are talking to the kids, telling them what we're doing, and then I start feeling bad because I told David, I was like, hey, so I'll just tell you what's next on the itinerary in case like you forget or don't know, and you just tell them. And then I kept going like, David, can you tell them? David, tell them. And then I felt bad because I was like, man, like it sounds like I'm treating them like they're animals or like something. Like I felt so bad. I was like, but I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. But Miss Stephanie, the main like chaperone, she was like talking to me. She kind of made us feel a lot more comfortable with it and everything. But then we would be walking up and down the aisles of Comic-Con showing them stuff, and they would see things, and they would get really excited and point at like, oh, Deadpool, and they would see art of Deadpool. Yeah. Or they would go like, they would see a Batman cosplayer that they really like, and they'd be like, oh, Batman. And then they were still talking to David and Herbie and stuff, but it was neat because no matter what barrier of language there was, they were involved. Yeah. They dug it, and we got to experience that together, even though I couldn't speak a lick to some of these kids. Yeah. To any of them. But they were still like making the effort. Like at a point, this boy comes up to me and he asked me a question about some of the cars we're looking at, because we're looking at like the nerdy, big, souped up cars. And he comes up and he speaks Spanish, asked me a question, and I was like, I have no idea what you're saying. And I told him, I was like, no habla español. Like, no, not at all. And he goes, none. And I was like, I kind of went like with my finger, I was like, none. Like, no. I was like, none. I was like, I can't at all. And at one point, I said, I know Dora, and he laughed. Because that was like the only Spanish I knew. Honestly. And I was trying to kind of convey that. Yeah. And he laughed, and he was asking me about the cars, and he was like, with his hands, he was like miming like money, and he was looking at the cars, and he mimed money, and then he pointed to himself, and I went like, oh, and I told him in English, I was like, you're asking if they're for sale, if you can buy them, and I kind of tried to use my hands to tell him that, and he goes, yeah, can you buy them? And I was like, oh no, they're here for shows, people can look at them. And he was like, oh, okay. But like, so then they were trying to talk to me more doing that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it was so interesting to see that they put themselves in the position to where they could still have the conversation.
Yeah.
And they could still be a part of it. And it was super cool. And then we met some artists. And one of the artists, his name is Ray Ray. Great guy. He's donated. Last year he didn't donate because it was like an on-the-fly thing. We took the kids by his booth. He talked to them about his art and how going to school is important and how they can chase their dreams and stuff. He's always super great at talking to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then I walked up to him and I was like, dude, they only speak Spanish. He's like, that's fine. Can we have someone translate and I'll talk to them? So we started talking to them about how he grew up on the streets and how going to school was super important for him. He goes, even learning math, like, you know, if I have a canvas that's this big and, you know, the whole time everyone's interpreting it for him or translating. And he's like, yeah, if I have a canvas, I need to know how much room I need. So I actually do use math and I have to do this. I have to know how to be a good business person because I sell these. This is how I make my money.
Right.
It's how I live. And he started talking to kids. He's like, so it doesn't matter your situation. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are.
In Spanish or English?
He's saying it in English and the interpreters are doing it. Or the translators are saying it over. And then, but Ray started like crying while he was talking about it. He was so into it and he was trying to just convey to the kids that they can do whatever they want, no matter what their situation is. They just need to have a good head, be willing to work hard, and if they want to propel themselves, go to school.
Right.
And he talked to them about it. He was like, you know, he started kind of choking up and stuff, and all the kids were like clapping for him and stuff. And it was a neat thing, but it was one of those things where, like you said, it's like there was no communication, but we could share a moment in like kind of weird ways, you know, not weird, but just in ways that are out of the ordinary for regular everyday stuff. Yeah. But it was so cool. And then I would just like joke around with some of the kids, like, you know, body language and stuff. That's kind of the most we could do. Mm-hmm. And then the Sabres Guild, luckily Carl, the guy who was running it for us, he spoke Spanish, thankfully, and he translated the whole thing. Yeah. But the kids loved it. They had such a great time. I got to make an address to them after, and their chaperones translated for me, and all the kids. You know, it was really good. And essentially the whole thing was that we wanted them to experience Comic-Con so they can, one, see it, because it's unfortunately in their situation maybe something they wouldn't get to experience any other way. Right. But two, to show them that no matter what they want to do, you know, even if they want to be an artist, they want to be a business person, even if they like things like Comic-Con, we wanted to express the hard work part of it and the working to get to that. And it was super cool. They enjoyed it. And it was one of those things where, like, they left, and, like, it was one of those things where you have 3 to 4 moments in life where you're like, man, I did something. Like, I made a difference. And fortunately for me, and with what I do, I've had so much more of those. Yeah. Because I get to do things like that affect people, like realistically affect people. And not just like I went to a school and talked about anti-bullying, but like I get to be with someone in a tough time, or I get to be with someone the last day of their life. I've done those things. Right. And this was one of those things where I got to walk away, and I had to stop, and like, because like I almost cried after that, because I was like, we have made an impact on those kids, and hopefully they're gonna take that, and if they take it and do something with it, great. If not, we've given them an experience that they can remember. You
planted a seed, and that's in an adolescent mind, that's all it takes. Yeah, just that one seed. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, that whole experience, my personal experience, and the one you just described, it just brings me to the point of, like, there's nothing that can bring us closer to world peace than experiencing other culture and language. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Because let's be real, when you turn on, like, a novela, or you try to talk to somebody in a different language, all you have is just them speaking that language. It's impossible to understand who that person really is, what their culture really is, what they stand for, their past. Yeah. Because all they are to you is just a language that you don't understand. And so whenever you hear that language, or you try to speak to them in that language, there's a cutoff, and it's sort of met with the sort of, I can't really, can somebody, So that's literally all you have every time you try to speak to somebody in a different language. So at a certain point, it becomes, they're not a person, they're just a fucking language.
Yeah. And you know, not that a lot of people are going to listen to this, but I can't say exactly where the kids are from because of privacy, but these kids were from different places that were not the United States. Yeah. And or they were maybe not exactly from different places, but their heritage was from different places. So just the way that they act, some of the things that they wore, the maybe the necklaces or the items that they had, that was like, that's, I don't see that, you know. But it was interesting, and it was really cool. But like you said, it ties back into the whole culture aspect of it. And I love how something like Comic-Con, something like learning a martial art, like those things bring people closer as a society than sitting in a meeting overseas with Russia or whoever, you know, not to make it political, but like you get more done doing an activity or helping someone, you know. It's kind of round out this topic. It's just, like I said, the whole world peace thing. When you go more out of your way and do things for people that you don't have to do, you know, you just, it literally is that random act of kindness stuff. It works and it happens and it's something amazing.
It's life changing. It really is life changing. People don't
really
experience that, man.
Freaking cool.
People do not experience that. For the longest time, I've never understood how people could say, well, I've kind of understood it, but not to a point where I could totally believe it. Where you would hear the lame ass saying, "Oh, I hate people," or in somebody's Instagram bio, "I probably hate you." You know what I mean? That shit is so stupid to me because in my mind, it's like you're stuck in this infinite universe on this giant ball of rock with these people, 7 billion of them and counting. That's all you have is each other. So how the fuck could you say that you hate people when you're stuck on this rock with them? You know what I mean? Can you try to break your bullshit ego and experience other people's way of life, maybe understand why they are the way they are?
And there's one kid I remember in particular, just because, you know, I thought about it and I was looking at him one of the times I was trying to talk to him, and this is a kid that if I would have saw on the street or if I would have passed by him somewhere in the mall or, you know, I would have thought nothing of him. I don't know who he is. I still don't really know who he is or know his story or anything, but because we did that together, we became closer as people than any other way, you know. And that was because you were completely open to something. And I know I was put in a situation where I kind of had to be open to it, but you know, you create a moment with that person, and it's you know, there are millions and millions of faces in the world, and that one person's I'm going to remember specifically because of the interaction. We didn't speak the same language. I didn't even remember the boy's name, but because we had an interaction, we had a maybe life-changing experience or something that we take away is really good, we remember that.
And do you know why that's so powerful? That is so powerful. Because, like in the whole, I don't know, politics, right? You have certain laws that are established, that are maybe established that favor a certain person, certain race or ethnic group over another ethnic group, right? And it becomes dangerous when people try to sort of make claims about certain ethnic groups based on the actions of a small percentage of said ethnic group. Like, for example, Muslims, right? Or Mexicans in the whole wall situation. Whenever I think of a Mexican, right? I mean, obviously, I've had this thought way before I met Carlos, but whenever I've thought of Mexicans or I've thought of white people, I've never thought of the ones smuggling drugs from the border. When I've thought of white people, I've never thought of the ones who are lynching my family way back in the day. When I think of white people, I think of my best friend Jared, who is the most redneck white guy you will ever meet that I grew up with, right? And I think of Carlos, the guy who I rolled with and who taught me the hardest martial art in a completely different language. Those are the representatives for those ethnic groups. You know what I mean? So it's when you meet people like that, it really is eye-opening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but unfortunately, with media today, something happens, and then people go, oh, well, I'm going to take that, keep it in my pocket, and remember, next time I see a Muslim person, they're probably going to blow something up.
Fucking exactly.
And like my buddy Dante, he says this one. He said it one time when I was talking to him and his wife. He goes, man, I get so upset when I see like anything happening on TV with a black person. He goes, because think about it, man. Like, I'll be watching Cops. Black guy gets knocked down. He's being irate with the cops. Everyone watching that, next time they see me in the street, they think that's me. They think that's what I am. Next time there's someone on the news who got shot because they were fighting a cop because they were stealing something, next time somebody sees me, they think that. Like because you're already grouped in with it.
Even if you don't want to, you can grow up in the most liberal left family you've ever met in your life. You can grow up in that family, but if that's constantly bedded and planted into your conscious, your subconscious, it's gonna manifest in some way or another. Whether it be little statements you make or actions you make.
Unfortunately, like I know Mexican people, you know, but like what you said. Everything, media, TV, movies, everything is so embedded with stereotype that like when you hear most people make fun of a Mexican person in a Mexican voice, it's like, "Hi sir, how are you? How you doing? Can I mow your lawn?" Like it's super.
It's fucking Consuela from Family Guy.
Exactly, and then you hear someone like make the voice of a black person, like they're making fun of it, and they either sound like Eddie Murphy, or they sound like Jamie Foxx, or they sound like somebody from the Gone with the Wind movies where they're a slave.
Or fucking like Barry White.
Yeah, but like it's very niche things. You know what I mean? Like, because what a black person voice actually is like, let me do a black impression. Hi, this is a black impression. Like people just talk.
Exactly.
But because in one movie, one time they went, "Thanks, Master Koopa."
Yeah.
Like everyone says, like, like I'm a black guy. Hey, Master Koopa. Like,
and people do have their stereotypes, and to me, that's the best part of humanity. That everyone has their differences. It's just people have their good side and people have their bad side. I associate positive aspects of an ethnic group to their culture, right?
Yeah.
You guys make amazing fucking tacos, right?
Yeah, but that's a cultural thing.
That's a culture thing. But what I don't associate with culture is evil.
Yeah.
Criminality, murder, rape. That's not a culture thing. That's a
personal thing.
Humanistic,
exactly,
innate, animalistic thing that we all share despite culture.
Mexicans, and not to poke fun at Trump or anything, it's just the first thing that came to my head. If someone makes a statement, Mexicans are rapists. Yeah. That's great. There are black people that are rapists. There are Muslim people that are racist. There are white people that are rapists, you know, and you know, you can say like, oh, black people live in tore down neighborhoods and ghettos or whatever. White people live in those, Mexican people live in those, Asian people live in those, you know, and then you can say like Asians eat dogs, but you know what, maybe that one might be exclusive.
That's an exception, all right? No, but look.
But really.
No, to bring it back to the point you were talking about earlier, the sort of negative stereotypes being reinforced and embedded into your DNA.
Dude, we're at an hour and we've only talked about comics.
I knew this was going to fucking happen.
Yeah, I figured. But go ahead.
But
I'm going to put it in the cues at the bottom. It's going to be like, Comic-Con, 1 minute to 53 minutes.
Exactly. But no, it's really, it's crazy how dangerous that shit is, man. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to the youth, right?
Yeah.
The youth, the young kids. I'm gonna bring up an example, a real life example. My brother, a while ago, he was dating a white lady, and she had a little sister, and the little sister got close with a family friend of ours, her daughter. They were the same age, so she would come over a lot and hang out with the family friend. Well, the little sister came over one time, and I recall we were all sitting downstairs watching Cops, and the little sister, my brother's ex-girlfriend's little sister, she was innocent, sweet as day. But she was a white girl. She was really innocent, really pure, really nice girl. She was like 11 or 12, really young. And I recall us all sitting around the TV watching Cops, and she was sitting on the floor, and we're just watching episode after episode after episode. And finally, she turns around because she noticed the fucking theme, and she turns around, and her little innocent voice goes, "You know what's crazy? How come everyone getting arrested is black, and you can't even get mad?"
Because she's right.
True. That's
she's
all
making
you
an observation.
See. To her, it's an observation. That's all it fucking is.
Yeah.
Thank God then again, she doesn't.
But you know what? You know what that puts in her mind? Even if no one says it, even if her family goes, "Sweetie, that's not what happens. It's just a show." In her mind, she saw everyone getting arrested was black. Mm-hmm. So in her mind, when she's 18 and she's in a neighborhood, getting in her car after hanging out wherever, and there are black people around, and it's midnight. She's going to be like, oh, these are all criminals. Because
on a subconscious level.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, even if she has those thoughts or not, well, even if she has that thought in particular or not, she's going to be battling thoughts like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's about black people
like
or Asians.
Like you're wearing that beanie, and I know that you're gay. Because that's just how... What?
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
So it's dangerous, man. It's fucking dangerous because I mean that just shows. I was literally witnessing the corruption of innocence.
Yeah,
right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially especially things like little young boys, young girls who are growing up.
Yeah,
and they're seeing those things. That's such because all media on young boys, young girls, they're the most affected.
Yeah,
by it, because. Especially nowadays, where younger and younger, they're getting handed the iPad, they're getting handed the phone as a distraction. My friend Vanessa, I don't think it's bad because when I was young, my parents would just plop me in front of the TV. The difference is now, it's mobile
control.
Well, it's mobile and stuff, but like my friend Vanessa, when the baby's crying or the baby's upset, she'll hand her phone and she'll watch Yo Gabba Gabba on YouTube. And like the baby's quiet, and because she digs Yo Gabba Gabba, she'll go to her own videos and click it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that baby don't even know how to talk if she's working that.
She's working a fuck. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Exactly.
Go ahead. Isn't that weird?
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like media is just so it really forms the next generation. And you know what? I'm actually gonna use that to bounce onto our next topic so we can get off Comic-Con. But speaking of media,
we got well off of Comic-Con.
Yeah. But that was technically our first topic. But speaking of impressions on young people, the new Wonder Woman movie is hitting theaters. We're recording this Wednesday night. I'm gonna have this up by tomorrow, at least by the end of the day. So by the time this is up, Wonder Woman will already be out. Hopefully some people have already seen it. But I don't want to really talk about like anticipation for Wonder Woman because by the time this comes out, it's gonna be out. But I'm more interested in... Well, one, Eman, are you excited for Wonder Woman? Do you have any desire to go see it?
I'm eating a banana. Hold on.
Okay. Eman's eating a banana, and he's chewing it right into the mic.
Oh, yeah.
So what were you going to say?
Love it. But, goddamn. Am I excited?
Yeah, like, do you have any desire to go see Wonder Woman? Like,
I'm rather indifferent.
Really?
It depends where it takes place.
Yeah.
Where does it take place?
It takes place in World War I.
Okay, I'm very excited. It takes place on Earth.
Yeah.
Very excited.
World War I, the beginning takes place on Paradise Island, which is the island of the Amazons where she's from.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm excited, man. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah, she's Amazonian and shit.
Yeah, and then she comes into World War I, and it's kind of I hear a lot of people comparing it to what do you call it? The first Captain America movie,
right? Where
it's like World War II, and it's very much like that apparently. Mm-hmm. But actually earlier it was sitting at a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, like 96, 98, I think. It has dropped down to a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. But that is like the best score a DC movie has had once critic reviews have come out.
Especially on Rotten Tomatoes, and it being a DC movie, they probably couldn't wait to tear that shit to shreds.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's incredible. A 94 for that's a 102.
Yeah, no. So, and I've been reading a lot of reviews and watching a lot of reviews. My favorite reviewers, Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns, both already let out their review for it.
Killers, man.
Jeremy Johns gave it a buy it on Blu-ray.
Okay.
So, and then Chris Stuckman gave it a B+. They're like, there's some issues. There's some issues here and there, but they said like it is the best. Like DC movie.
What do we say, man?
So far,
DC's coming up. That's how they massage and they penetrate.
Oh, like they're teasing you a little bit, and then they give you the full thing.
Can penetrate. They're slowly starting to penetrate, man.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna knock Marvel out of the top spot.
I'm excited, and you know what? It's good that they did it with a Wonder Woman because I think more people would have been pissed off. They would have screwed up Wonder Woman.
Let's talk about the real meat of the movie, though. That everyone's talking about. Mm-hmm. That all women screening. Oh,
you know what? I did want to bring that up. Yeah. So, anyway, so Wonder Woman does come out on Thursday. Like I said, it's just to recap, it's 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. The average rating is about a 7.6 out of 10 right now. There's a total of 116 reviews right now. 109 of those reviews are good reviews. 7 of those reviews are negative reviews. But it's doing really well. But yeah, I did want to mention that in Austin, right? It's the Austin Alamo Draft House. They're doing an all-women viewing of Wonder Woman.
Okay.
and apparently a lot of guys were pissed off about
people
that.
Are pissed off about
Yeah,
it.
and I was like, why? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But you know what? But I guess it's fair that people are pissed off about it, because you can be damn sure that
if it was the other way
you
around,
can be damn sure that if it was next
there'd be
month,
5 trends on Twitter right now.
exactly. If it was next month and they went, oh, all male screening of Transformers 5 at the Alamo Draft House, everyone would be talking about it. Ellen would be like, yes, guys, yes. All male viewing of Transformers. Well, you know what? Everyone in the audience, we're going to go see Transformers right after the show. All females. Yeah. Yes, thank you. And then she starts crying and everything. Because I'm gay and I make a difference. And so, but like...
And I'd be in the audience with my beanie.
Yeah!
According to you. I don't know.
So, but I get it. I mean, I don't get it. I think it's stupid that people are mad.
Fucking shut. That thing scared the hell out of me. I was like, the fuck is on my TV right now?
So, like, I get it to an extent. Like, I get people can be upset about it, and I can see why, if you're a pussy, you're upset about this.
Yeah.
But, you know, who gives a shit? Like, it's an all-women screening of Wonder Woman. Like, the biggest heroine icon for women and young girls and all that, and people are gonna be upset about who gives a shit. Like, I don't care.
If we only say that who gives a shit because it doesn't affect us. Like, we have a lot of shit going on. Who gives a fuck about all the controversial shit?
It doesn't affect
us.
But it doesn't affect the people who are pretending they're being affected. They're like,
it doesn't affect anybody.
Oh man, I can't go see it at that 7:00 showing in theater 9. I can only see it in theaters 1 through 10 anytime other than that one time at that theater.
Exactly, man. It's ridiculous, but it's the fact that it exists.
I guess.
And that it couldn't exist the other way around. And it's things like this that sort of push the barrier as to what's acceptable for certain races, ethnic groups, you know what I mean, genders.
Yeah. Well, because I can't wait for them to do a screen. But here's my thing. Like, I can't wait to see, like, if this trend continues with anything. Like, I can't wait for the next, you know, Ariana Grande concert to come to town and it be all LGBT only, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
dude, that would be mind-blowing.
Yeah, but you know what?
I'm an asshole. You didn't catch that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to go past it. But, like, my thing with that would be that nobody would probably say anything.
Right.
Because it would be not okay to say something. Like one person on Facebook would be like, "Oh, that's ridiculous, LGBT," and then when they see he's a white guy with Oakleys on, they're gonna tear him up. Like they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, you're homophobic and all that." And then even with this, I'm sure that's happening to the guys or the people who are.
We're just pushing an envelope, man, and I don't know, because it goes against the whole narrative. People are fucking stupid. I get it.
I just think
but
they're
I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate. It pushes the narrative of why people hate feminists, right? And women. I'm sure a lot of these fucking women who are super on board with it, a lot of them are feminists, especially being in Austin, right?
Yeah.
And their whole narrative
that's very true.
Equality.
Austin's very liberal.
Super liberal, and the whole narrative for feminism is equality. They want to be seen as the same as us. Well, when you do shit like this, and you know that if it were the other way around, it'd be World War fucking III in the Western world.
That's very true.
It would flip shit.
That's
so it
very
just pushes
true.
the narrative of putting one gender on some sort of pedestal. Yeah. And guys are supposed to be, doesn't affect me. Who gives a shit? Well, I mean, it's gonna affect you when your son's being. It's gonna affect you when your son's being sort of treated poorly in a classroom compared to a female just because she's female.
Then you're playing, like you said, the narrative that you're now making isn't, you know, because feminism is very wrongly associated with equality when it is not. It is dominance, and feminists and feminism want to be dominant over men. Like,
that's what,
feminists are not like, I've never once seen a feminist go, "I don't need a man to support me. We're gonna work together and support each other." I've never fucking seen that.
I have. It's always fucking torn apart.
I've seen the extreme. I've only seen the extreme of I don't need a man to do it. I'm gonna provide for the man. I'm gonna propose. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy the car. You know, it's never like, oh, let's be equal. It's I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But then you create a double standard when you're like, oh, I'm going to claim my message as equality, but I also want to be exclusive. Like I want to have these exclusive rights that I can do. Like, hey, only men can vote. Or no, that's not a good one. I like only men can get into fights and be rambunctious and ridiculous. I want to do that, but then I want to be the only one to do that. And when they do it to me, I'm gonna be mad.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's
when oh God, I'm calling you out, sister. Calling you out, sis.
What?
My sister for years has been playing. She's not like totally feminist. She's really level. She's a smart girl. She's really level-headed. Yeah. But she does personally feel that women and men should be equal. She kind of has that same narrative.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much for it. I'm like 60% for it, right?
60%.
Yeah, I believe we have a natural polarity. We shouldn't be completely equal. They have certain specs. We have certain specs. But that's for another conversation.
Yeah, but I think just really quick, that goes into the whole. There's yin and yang to everything. Exactly. And it's like, you know, it's know your strengths and know your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Guys might just be better at this thing because natural selection, you know, biology and everything, we're better at this because of these reasons. And sure, girls can be good at that too, but just naturally, guys might be better at that. And then same thing for girls. They're better at this thing because guys just biologically are not made for that.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead, what you were saying.
But like I was saying, she's a very, very intelligent girl, right? Love her to death. But for years, she's been preaching the whole equality narrative, and I agree with her for the most part on that. But there'll be conversations of like her and maybe some guy she's seeing at the time, and she'll be like, you know, I forget him. I don't need no man. We don't need no men anymore. Yada yada yada. The whole feminism thing, and I'd be like jokingly, "Hey, Ebony, it's trash day. Take out the trash." That's a boy's job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no,
see, that's the thing.
This like, is equality, lady.
Yeah.
And I hear that so much.
And here's my thing. Like we'll do, like me and Serena, right? We both make money and stuff. So we'll go out, and it's like before, you know, when I started going out with her, I was like, hey, I have to pay. Like, I've got to handle this. And now Serena has taken it upon herself to kind of go like, oh, I'll get this one, and then I'll argue with her. And you know that still happens every now and then. But now we're kind of at the point where like we'll both kind of be like, "Are you getting this one this time, or am I getting it?" Like, or like, "Hey, am I paying for gas, or are you paying for gas?" Or she'll ask me like, "Oh, hey, you want me to pay for gas today?" Or, "Hey, you want me to buy her lunch today so we can," you know. So it's on that part of it. It's like, oh, well, there's an equality part of it, but. Like, there's still the whole, like, oh, let me open your door for you. Let me hold the door for you. Let me, I'll get you coffee or whatever. Or, I'm up. Do you need anything? You know, that kind of stuff. Like, for some reason, feminism is always taken to the extreme of leave me alone even though you're genuinely trying to be nice. Like, so.
Like, to a lot of feminists, me opening the car door is a fucking insult. Yeah. What, am I incompetent enough to not open my own door because I have a vagina? Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
it's like, no, I'm being nice to you because I was raised right, you fucking bitch. Like,
yes, dude.
That's what happens.
Moral of the story is stay away from girls with dyed short hair.
Yeah, any girls named Samantha or after any state.
Yes.
Like Samantha, Ashley, Tina, or any variation or state.
Yes.
Or if they have an Ann in their name, like Kellyanne, Ashley Ann, or Lynn, Ann or Lynn, stay away from those.
Right.
And then if it's a state, and then
stay away from buzz cuts and nose piercings.
Yeah.
As well as Jesus.
You know what?
Jesus
if they
sandals.
own a Bucky shirt, just get out of town.
Fuck out of there.
Just don't touch her.
Yeah.
If there's ever a Bucky shirt and Sperry's in the same vicinity, you just leave.
Sound the alarm. Yeah. Sound the alarm.
Yeah. I had this really this funny thing with Serena the other day. We're driving, and something happened where I almost crashed into someone in front of me because the woman was being an idiot, braking ridiculously. But I got mad and I was like, sometimes you get mad at someone and you want to insult them,
right?
But there's not a lot to insult them about, so you
don't
just
have
kinda,
much.
You kind of pick at shit,
right?
Like I'll bump into Eman, you and your stupid beanie and your blackness, you fuck,
right?
So I broke in front of this person and I almost hit them because they were just being ridiculous. They cut in front of me and just hit their brake immediately.
Yeah,
and I was like, look at you, you stupid ass white girl with your college bumper stickers and you love your dogs like every white girl ever, you dumb bitch. I was so mad. I went off on a total rant, and I ended up going oh, you stupid white girl. With your dumbass college stickers on it, the college that you owe several $1,000s in student loans to get your degree to go become a vet's assistant somewhere, and you love your dog. That's great. They probably eat better than you dumb cunt.
Oh my god!
I went off on this whole rant.
Fucking angry old man, dude.
And then Serena just looked at me and she goes, That was incredibly accurate.
Damn.
Because
the dog's probably eating better than you.
Yeah, I said that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Serena goes, "That was accurate," and I was like, "Yeah, I know." And I thought about it. Our friend Daphne, verbatim. That's our friend.
I can name about 50 girls.
Yeah,
who
with
would
the
match
same
that description.
Mm-hmm. And I thought about our friend Daphne, and I was like, "Yeah, exactly, like Daphne." And it was verbatim, exactly, drowning in student loans, got their degree to go work at ACS. They got "I love my dog" stickers and their Disney sticker and their 4 college stickers and. It's ridiculous.
I hate that. Ugh, that shit's played out, man.
So yeah, and you know, my favorite part is that they're all unique. Yeah. Anyway, so rounding back to Wonder Woman, yeah, I'm excited for it. Me and Serena are seeing it on Saturday. You should definitely go check it out, man.
Yeah, I will.
You should definitely go check it out. So I know we just got done talking about a movie, but that's because we're kind of segueing into something else. But we're going to kind of segue into Film Time. And if you don't know, Film Time is one of our segments of the show where we like to talk about movies, film, stuff upcoming, stuff that interests us as far as maybe box office, ratings, things of that nature. Really quick before we, as we're in Film Time, I know I told you earlier, I did see Get Out, finally.
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
So good. Get Out was so great.
Christ. What I've been telling you, man. You've been sleeping on that shit.
It was funny because they, you know, I'm not going to pretend I know, but Jordan Peele, one of the interviews I saw with him when that movie was getting ready to come out, was that he was really trying to make a satire of people who were like, "Oh, I love black people," or you know, like he was like it was like to the extreme of what he said he wanted to interpret the extreme version of what he feels as a black person.
Yeah.
That you feel in these situations, or when white people or any other ethnicity is being weird towards you because you're black. Yeah. And I don't know how that feels because I haven't lived it. Yeah. But if the movie is any indication, that's terrible.
Oh, it's beyond fucking accurate.
And really,
you've heard him talk about me.
Look
at his muscles. So are you really packing like that? Like that? You've heard the shit.
That's real. It's actually happened.
Fucking ridiculous.
But in the movie, they do it so much to the extreme. I guess so. From an outsider looking in, you kind of get a hint at what that might be like. And I was just like, it was so freaking freaky. And then the whole twist in the movie when you finally found out what was going on.
Right.
I was like, what? And oh my god, the best friend, the TSA guy. That was so
classic,
funny.
Dude. I love that guy.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much because if you haven't seen Split, you need to see Split.
Yeah, you cannot spoil that.
So good, so I don't want to say it's underrated because it was very accurately rated. Everyone loved it. Who I knew saw it. I just never got the opportunity to see it when it was in theaters, and I just kind of fell off for me. But so great. I loved it so much.
Beautiful.
Anyway, but to kind of get into Film Time, I wanted to bring up the box office for a little movie, kind of an indie film, really. One that kind of didn't really get a lot of attention at the box office. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Okay. I think I heard of that one.
Kind of a small thing. I think it was one of those Oscar bait movies, kind of flew under the radar. But Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they this week surpassed the box office for Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Right.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, it grossed, let me see. Guardians of the Galaxy came out in 2014, and, I'm sorry, this is just US. $773.3 million in the US. So 773.3. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 just hit 783 million point 3. 783 million point 3. So sorry, 783.3 million. But yeah, so they're a full 10 million over Guardians, which may not seem like a lot, but it's insane that like those numbers, like just the movie, like a movie can make that much money, and like a sequel can surpass the first one like that. And I know, like, it's always like, oh, the sequel always gets more money than the first one because, you know, you have the built-in audience who enjoyed the first movie. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the budget was 200 million, and just in the US 783.3 million. Yeah, but I mean, it to me it's insane, like those numbers working with these movies, because Avengers Infinity War, which is going to be later on in the Marvel roster for movies, I think it was like a $1 billion budget. Like it, like I said, it's just insane that movies make that much money.
Yeah.
And you know, Wonder Woman, I don't know what it was tracking for, but yeah, I'm waiting on you to say something. You're just staring at me.
You give me the facts and shit.
Yeah, sorry. I was waiting to see if you were inputting any input.
God, okay.
I was kind of rambling.
I see the panic in your eyes. Yeah. So the numbers, billion.
Anything?
No, but that does bring me to a point, man. You talk about the amount of money that movies are grossing these days, and I overheard a conversation while I was at work. Someone was saying that Fast and Furious 8, or one of the most recent Fast and Furious that just came out, was it 7 or 8?
Let me see right now.
Right?
It was the Fate of the Furious, right?
Yeah.
Fate of the Furious. I'll look it up right now.
I think it was. Let's call it 8. Okay. That beat out the opening week Star Wars. And that was mind blowing. Yeah. But then they also, I in the same conversation, they were like, but you know what? Think about how many people were on Earth.
It was the 8th one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 8th Fast and Furious.
But the thing is, think about how many people were actually on this planet with access to a movie theater when Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
And like, what was it, the 70s, late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's so much more accessible now.
It's a lot more accessible.
Yeah, so like you can't even compare that.
Yeah.
You know, because like
but the reason I bring that up though is because when I heard that, I was like, what the fuck? It beat out Star Wars? Like, what the shit's going on? But then I was like, okay, yeah.
The original Star Wars, right?
The original Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, that's for me, one, it's nothing because you know, like you said, movies are just so much easier to access.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when you would go to the movie theater, if all the viewings were sold out, you went back home. Or people would be like, you want to go? It's kind of close to the time. What if it's sold out? Let's just not go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
now,
I don't feel like getting dressed up. And you know,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And now you just go.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It's a gas station. It's an entertainment gas station.
And, but also, and I'm sure maybe they adjust the numbers for inflation. But when Star Wars came out, movie tickets were like $3.
True
you know what I mean? And like, I mean, I'm sure they adjusted it for inflation, but that's just, it's crazy to think that there was a time when the biggest movies in the world made X amount of money and your movie ticket was like $5.
Yeah.
And then now you go to the movies and you spend like between $10 and $12 to go to the movies just to get the ticket. And then you buy popcorn and all that jazz. And then, you know, movies are making that much money.
Yeah,
like just the movie industry is ridiculous. Because you know, obviously you have the movie, the numbers the box office makes as far as the movies go, but then you have the things like the movie theaters that sell candy for $4 when it's like
100 fucking people.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring up the Guardians thing because like you were mentioning, the fact that movies track so much now. Movies are just such a huge part of culture now, because before, like you were saying, movies were.
I wouldn't say movies, but go ahead.
I would just say entertainment, because before movies and media was like a luxury thing. Like, hey guys, we've got extra money. Do you want to go see a movie this month? And now it's like, hey guys, do you want to go see a movie this 3 days? Because like they're just so many. I'm just saying, like, because they're always
so true.
There's always a new movie coming out. There's always the next big thing. Like me personally, what is it? The average moviegoer, I think last year, 2 years ago, it was the average moviegoer goes to the movies it was like 3 to 4 times, I think, 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And
that's what?
Yeah, that's not a lot
at all.
Yeah,
for a whole year.
I think it was probably the year before last year, but it was at that time the average moviegoer was like 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah,
I believe. I could be wrong, but I remember it was a low number like that. And I was like, dude, I go see every superhero movie that comes out, and I'm already past that, like, for this year.
Yeah,
so
insane.
Because what came out this year so far? Logan came out this year. Power Rangers came out this year. And then Wonder Woman's going to come out. Spider-Man's going to come out. Justice League's going to come out. Star Wars is going to come out. That's like 6 movies just if I go see all the nerdy shit that I'm going to go see. And then, I don't know.
But you're talking going to the movies, though.
Yeah.
Not watching them. People are actually watching the shit. But like I say, man, convenience is the killer of all things great. Yeah. Like, no one's going to actually go and experience the whole aura of just going and enjoying an actual movie at the cinema. You know what I mean? Well, now they pull this shit up on their phone. They've got HBO Go. They've got that illegal shit now. They've got Netflix. They'll have all this stuff. There's no need to leave the house. I was gonna say that I feel that maybe in the next few years we're gonna see, maybe not in the next few years, maybe like 10 years down the road. Yeah, we're gonna see the movie theater stop. Maybe not stop. Like they're still gonna be there. It's gonna be a subculture.
But but I feel like it's gonna be like, oh guys, you hear Justice League 4 is coming out? Let's download it and watch it. That's what it's gonna be.
You know what's happening? I bet our parents in the 70s, early 80s were having the same conversation about fucking arcades. Yeah. Arcades are never going to go out of business. What are you talking about, man? I'm going to open up an arcade myself and be a millionaire. Now look at us. Who the fuck goes to arcades? Because we got that shit right here. You know what I mean? And the same thing is happening with movie theaters now.
Yeah, and all the games that were in that arcade fit in that thing.
Exactly.
Like, plus more. Far more.
To the exactly.
So it's hard to think about that maybe one day movie theaters won't be there, but to me, I think that we're going to reach a point where maybe, like you said, the subculture thing happens where people still go to the movies. It's not as appreciated, but I feel like because now you can get illegal copies of anything, and I feel like it's going to get so bad to the point, because did you hear about the Pirates of the Caribbean thing?
No. Yes.
Yeah, where hackers stole the full version of the latest Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Yeah. And they told Disney, we're going to release this online in 20-minute increments until you pay us the ransom of this many $1 million. And Disney was like, no, we're not going to do that. And then guess what happened? They did it. Like, they didn't pay it, but the hackers, like, started releasing the movie online. Yeah. So it's becoming so easy and so accessible, I guess, to steal these movies. And I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. And if it's becoming that easy and accessible, one day it's going to get so bad, or finally theaters and movie companies are just going to decide, you know what, it's going to get out anyway. Put it on Amazon Prime and put it on HBO Go, put it on everyone's demand service on their cable. Just have them pay $20 and download it right then. Yeah. I think that's just how it's going to be. We're going to stop seeing DVD sales and stuff because it's just going to be that.
And do movie companies pay the movie theaters to have their movies shown there, or is it the other way around?
I don't know. I can look that up real quick. Okay. But why are you asking? Just so you can talk about it.
Well, because if theaters are paying, or if movie studios are paying to put their shit in theaters, that's millions right there, man. A lot of millions. Yeah, that's a lot. And so they're gonna go where the money is flowing, and the money's flowing on Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Go, the convenient shit, man. The apps. It's not. I mean, I couldn't see it flowing towards theaters anymore. It's gonna become a washed out subculture that you're gonna find in certain malls and shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh hey, you want to go to Ingram Park Mall? They have one of the last movie theaters around. It's gonna be like Blockbuster at some point.
It's gonna be like Blockbuster.
That's gonna
or
be
an arcade.
so sad.
I'm gonna hate it. Man. I'm going to hate it.
Hold up, I'm checking this out right now.
We're turning into a real life Wall-E.
Yeah, how do movie theaters pay for movies? Do they rent the movie reel? Do they give a portion of ticket prices to the movie studio? They give a very large portion of the box office receipts to the movie distributor. The exact deal varies from movie to movie, but it is thought that on average, the theater and distributor split the ticket price 50-50.
Huh.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of expenses for running a theater, and most screens are not selling out any given Friday, nor do art films and the like get any audience on weekdays. Regardless, the film still plays in an empty house if it needs to, creating all expense with no income. Okay, that makes sense, because that would be why, oh, hey, this movie's not doing good, we're just going to pull it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
what I got from that is movie studio pays distributor. Movie theater also pays the distributor to have their shit.
Yeah.
And then the theater pays the studio and the theater itself. Is that what you're getting?
That's what it sounds kind of complicated.
Yeah.
But that's also why the movie theater sells sodas and candy and food and all that, because apparently all of the money that theaters make is from like popcorn, drinks, the food, the extra shit that's not the movies. That's where they make their money.
Which is frightening.
Yeah. That's why everything's so fucking marked up.
Of course. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
We were talking about Comic-Con earlier. Ripping you off. Talking about movie theaters.
I know.
Fucker. Anyway, so that wraps it up for film time, and the last topic that me and Eman had on here was kind of because the episode is very much kind of it was more, I guess, geek pop culture centric. I want to talk about weird hobbies, because sometimes going to Comic-Cons, indulging in the movies, keeping track of all this shit, it's like, I know there are people that are like, why do you give a shit? Like, who cares? Like, just like with anything, like even like we're talking about the Wonder Woman thing, like we're like, who gives a shit? So we just want to talk about like maybe some weird hobbies that we have, or maybe some weird hobbies that we know that other people have. I mean, Eman, do you have a hobby that you think is abnormal and weird? I mean, because mine would just be the cosplay thing.
Yeah.
So
probably, I can't think of any on the spot. This shit. This.
Yeah.
I mean, this. What else? Jiu-jitsu. I just got into that. Weightlifting isn't weird at all.
Yeah.
The slightest.
Maybe the stocks thing is out of the ordinary.
That's just such a thing. That's such like. Okay, yeah. That's just like an extra limb now. It's
the
just
stocks.
there. Completely forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah. So Eman trades. Eman like,
shit.
Wow, the phone is ringing while recording.
No, that's actually an alarm.
Oh wow, it's like, go to bed.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Wow. No, so but Eman does the stock thing. I guess that can be seen as weird. Me, I collect baby toes, and
that's not weird at all.
No, but like I'm into the Comic-Con stuff. I cosplay. I collect comic books and things of that nature. But I mean, yeah, I guess I know we kind of touched on it earlier as far as the weird hobbies, and I guess it kind of was the whole theme of this, is that if there is someone that is into something, you're gonna find other people who are into it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. And it's like there's a market for everything. Like one time I Googled and I found out that vagina pillows were a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I talked about vagina pillows for like 3 weeks while I was working at my job at SeaWorld in front of my manager. And my buddy Spencer bought me a vagina pillow. It's great. I still have it to this day. It's literally sitting right next to my bed. Like it sits right there. And
yeah, it's weird. I guess they have some sort of like device in them, because every time I go there, yours is like dripping wet for some reason.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't
really high tech how they make those things.
No idea what you're talking about.
Huh?
No. Why would I be dripping wet? I didn't even get that joke.
Because you're making love to your vagina pillow, you sick fuck.
Why would I be wet, though?
You tell me, man. You're
Am
doing
I
it.
Kissing on it?
You tell me, dude. Hey, man. Making love is moist.
What was that thing that is getting completely off topic, but we're rounding the end of the podcast anyway. But what was that thing that you told me when you were younger?
What's up, man? Put my shit on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous where this is going.
when you were younger, you said that you thought that when you had sex, you had to pee inside of the woman.
I said that?
Yeah, you told me that like a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, last week. No, but...
No, but I remember you told me that you're like, dude, I was really nervous when I was younger about sex because, like, I was like, I have to pee in the woman, and what happens if I don't have to pee? Like, what do I do?
Oh no!
That's what you told me, and I was like, I was like, okay.
I probably had that thought when I was younger.
Oh god. I thought that too, though.
I thought women peed out of their asshole for the longest time.
I thought that too.
Yeah. Because they sit down, right? And
exactly. That was my thing. I was like, and one time when I was younger, I saw somebody changing my little sister. And, you know, I was curious. And I was like, why has she got two butts?
Oh! Why has she got two butts? Why is the front one so small?
Yeah, man.
You know.
But, yeah, why she got two butts?
Yeah, dude. Intricate shit, man.
Intricate shit.
Intricate shit, dude.
The female biological specimen.
Yeah. Because their shit's external.
I guess.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess since we kind of already really covered everything, yeah. So I guess we're gonna start wrapping up this episode of Break Time. We thank you guys very much for tuning in. We hope that you do appreciate that we're gonna try to start listing off our topics that we kind of want to hit at the beginning of the video. But as always, you know, conversation just kind of flies and goes wherever, and we will follow the conversation. But we just kind of want to make sure that we kind of give y'all a heads up on what we're going to be talking about, so that you can kind of be prepared for it, and maybe, you know, you hate what we're talking about, you can just skip to the parts that you like, as long as you stay on the video, you know.
Big time.
But, yeah, and like always, we are always looking for more guests. We had Tyler and Johan on our last episode, and that was a whole lot of fun. We want to get a guest this week, but I mean, we didn't really talk about it, so we just kind of went like,
we got to get the mic situation fixed.
Yeah, that's true. We could still do it with this setup.
Okay.
Like, it would be fine. But anyway, yeah. So if y'all are interested, you can message us here on YouTube, as well as any of our other social medias that you see on the screen there. And as always, if you like our stuff, you know, feel free to share it with your friends, and hopefully they like it too. Eman, is there anything else that you want to add before we end this episode of Break Time?
As always, no. Actually, we're going to start uploading clips. Well, attempt to. We're fucking committed now. I just said it.
Yeah.
So we're going to attempt to start uploading clips to, I'll take care of that part.
Yeah.
To help with the other marketing. So look out for those clips, man. And as always, keep listening. And also keep on the lookout for questions. Because we do want to have your interaction. Whether you can be a guest or not, we still want to have the viewer have some sort of experience with the podcast. And I think hearing someone's genuine curiosity be answered on this podcast would be pretty interesting for both parties involved. So,
definitely.
You know, never hesitate if you see me posting, you know, ask certain questions, DM me. Never hesitate to do so, man, because we're always eager.
Alrighty, guys. So, again, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Break Time. And, yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.